Good morning, welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Big Dave with Wrestling Montage Media. Hope you're doing well. We're finna get into some of this, some of the things that's been happening on Raw. Also got some AEW releases and debuts at the same time. Let's get into it.
Salamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including major AEW releases and departures. Are they WWE bound? Is Liv Morgan injured? Marvel gave WWE a cease and desist. Have WWE dropped the ball with Gunther? Dominic Mysterio heading to TNA? Is Sami Zayn injured? And much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on WrestleMania XL. Now, as always, we won't recap the show, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number one, Jey and Gunther bringing the intensity. One of the things that WWE needed with the Jey Uso and Gunther feud heading into WrestleMania was to up the intensity. And
yeah, for sure. Going into a championship, one of the main event programs, that you got to bring that heat. You got to make sure that you conveying the story in a way that is going to convince the people, hey, you want to see this match. So that's definitely what this match needed.
this is exactly what they're doing. The ring general laid waste to main event Jey on Raw, and he rather...
Yeah, he dropped him on the table too. He was yeeting on the table, and it was pretty cool how they had the camera angle. They had him from the crowd, and you couldn't see nothing but Jey doing this thing, and all of a sudden he fall down. That was pretty cool.
Hilariously called him a mid-carder during a social media promo. The match is now confirmed for WrestleMania officially, and WWE now have 9 weeks to make the match feel like a worthy main event.
And that's a long time. That's a long time when you think about it. And what can they do on 9 weeks to build that feud? There's gonna be some weeks they take off and get back to it, but I know it's gonna be pretty consistent. They need to be consistent in order for people to buy into it.
Number 2, a slow build to Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is officially given Io Sky a world title match, but it won't take place at WrestleMania 41. Instead, the match will take place on the Raw following the Elimination Chamber. Whilst this is somewhat disappointing, there must be a big swerve.
I ain't really disappointed by it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it was kind of weird how they did announce it. 3 weeks from now, you're going to have this match,
WWE devoted numerous specific segments to this exact story arc last night, and they're making Sky's world title quest one of the most featured stories heading into Mania 41, and an outstanding main event. Raw was main evented by Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio in Elimination Chamber qualifier, and the match exceeded all expectations. Logan gets better and better in the ring, and Mysterio continues to show the world that he can still hang with the roster at age 50. The show went off the air with the New Day ambushing Mysterio, which was an odd visual, as it was rather abrupt, but this was likely done so fans would head to WWE's social media channel.
Yeah, I noticed that when that had happened, it was kind of out of nowhere, but I mean, they've been talking stuff about Rey all throughout the show. Earlier they had a segment when they were doing an interview, and Kofi was trashing Rey. So I mean, but the way it happened, it just they ran in the ring and then they got off the air, and that was just kind of weird.
But that was a good. What about the bad? Is number 1, did WWE have any plans for Lyra? Lyra Valkyria lost her Elimination Chamber qualifier on Raw to Bayley, and although the match was fantastic, fans are already questioning what on earth is happening with Valkyria's booking. She's barely been featured since winning the Women's Intercontinental title, she was dumped out quite quickly in the Royal Rumble, and now she can't even make it onto a PLE match card.
Yeah, and also, I don't know what that's about either. But with Lyra, though, that match, I noticed her footing was kind of, the way she was taking bumps, a few of them, she landed on her feet when you clearly need to land on your back. So she was like feet and then kind of on her back. It was kind of sloppy looking. I don't know what's going on with the booking. It wouldn't be anything on her. I mean, she's great in the ring, but I don't know. We gotta get it a little bit more time.
Number 2, the bad themes continue. It's just as CM Punk's promo was about to hit the next level, he'd be interrupted by Logan Paul with a brand new theme. Unfortunately, the new theme is horrendous.
I didn't notice it was a new theme because it started the way it always starts with the "Hey yo," but maybe it was different. I noticed something different about it, but I didn't realize it was new. But yeah, it definitely wasn't anything like wow or catchy. That's really been the problem with WWE lately is the themes. They definitely need a new production team when it comes to theme songs.
Just like other recent themes, Punk would even question who on earth was coming out because he didn't recognize the
Yeah, you got to see the name first. You got to see what's on the Titantron, whatever name come up first. That's when you know who it is. Like, oh, okay. But you won't know about the music.
theme. Even Pat McAfee would make a passing dig at the quality of the song. The WWE needs to take action, and these sort of theme songs are really getting out of hand. There was nothing downright ugly on this show, as the show was a vast improvement over prior weeks, and the shows are slowly but surely starting to feel like Mania season-worthy editions of Raw. Hopefully WWE can keep the momentum up. What do you guys think of the Red Brand last?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because maybe they announced Jay and Gunther kind of early, but then he had to make a choice. Because the way they booking Gunther is for him to keep coming at Jay, and then eventually it reached a boiling point, and he's just like, you know what, I'm choosing you. We finna go at it at WrestleMania. I'm gonna take the World Championship off of you. So it wouldn't have made sense for Jay and Cody. So, yep. And I was telling my buddies on our podcast, check out our podcast. It's on the channel. That this dynamic reminds me of Jay as John Cena and Gunther as JBL. Back in the day at WrestleMania 21. So this is kind of the dynamic is kind of similar. But of course, around that time, Cena was he was brand new. He was relatively new. He was in the business only 3 years. But this is Jay's 15th year. And he's finna get a world championship. So the dynamic is different, but also the same.
Let us know in the comments down below. Now, let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at major AEW releases WWE bound. Now, our top story today takes a look at some major developments within AEW, as numerous names have reportedly left the promotion. The first name that's worth noting is Malachi Black, who was removed from the AEW roster page yesterday. It was then subsequently confirmed by various outlets that Black is now gone from AEW officially.
Yeah. How I feel about it, people leaving AEW isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's like this is what every wrestling company kind of comes into when you have a roster that's just so bloated, and then it's hard to find spots for everybody. But somebody like him, he should be a mainstay somewhere.
Black is firmly expected to
and utilized properly.
Rejoin WWE, and his removal from the roster page indicates as such. Another name that's been removed from the roster page is Ricky Starks, and Starks is another name that is heavily rumored to join WWE.
As we know, he did. He showed up on NXT last night. I haven't watched it yet, but as soon as it happened, my buddy ended up texting me like, "Hey, Ricky Starks debuted on NXT." So, and that's where I assumed he was gonna go anyway. That's right where he belongs. So that's perfect for him.
And hours after Starks was removed, it was confirmed that Starks had been let go by the company. Additionally, it's also been confirmed that Miro, who wrestled in WWE under the name of RUSEV, has left AEW.
Yeah, I hope he goes back to WWE. I really do. It's RUSEV, but RUSEV with the same gimmick. If he had the same gimmick, the Redeemer, because his promos as the Redeemer was just great. It's probably his best version. Miro's his best version. Maybe he can keep the name. Who knows? But when we see him in WWE, obviously, we gonna see RUSEV again.
This was first reported by PW Insider, who stated, Miro is gone from AEW, PWInsider.com has confirmed. We're told that Miro and AEW came to a mutual agreement on his exit from the company. There was talk that he asked for his release back in the fall of 2024. The two sides had been working towards an agreement for some time. Miro came to the promotion in 2020, coming to AEW after a long run in WWE as RUSEV. Miro signed with Paradigm for representation in all areas of Hollywood and beyond, and one would think there would be a lot of interest in him now that he's on the free market. Now, it's unknown at this stage if WWE have any interest in the talented star, yet he was consistently in featured roles during his prior run, so it would make sense for WWE to give him another shot.
Yeah, for sure. that's the thing. The door is never closed just because you leave WWE. You know, just for a brief extent period of time. That doesn't mean the door is closed. Especially again under a different regime. We got Triple H in charge now, so he tended to give more opportunities to bring back certain guys. So this is going to be, hopefully Miro does go back, like I said.
This time pushing RUSEV Day to the moon. At the timing of these releases has fans talking, as WWE just released a handful of names last weekend, so there are various spots going on in each representative main roster brand. Next up, Dominic Mysterio headed to TNA. One of the most exciting parts of the WWE TNA relationship is the potential talent exchanges, and one name that is up for having a run in TNA is Dominic Mysterio. The former NXT North American champion recently appeared on the Battleground podcast.
He's such a little punk, a little pest, man. He know it too. But honestly, I love Dominic. Been watching him since when he was a kid. Literally watched him grow up before our eyes. He came a long way. He came in vanilla as hell with his dad and winning championships, and that's a good way to start out. But as far as him expanding and growing into his own, he's doing a great job. But just look at him in this picture, you just want to punch him.
And Daddy Dom stated that he would love to have a run in the promotion. We're in cahoots with him. That's pretty cool. Dude, I'd love to show up on TNA. Why not? I already took over NXT, so why not go down to TNA and take over TNA? And Mysterio having a mini run of sorts in TNA would be huge for the promotion, and it would allow Mysterio to work with a wider plethora of names. Next up, Rey Mysterio to embark on a retirement tour. John Cena's current retirement tour could set the template for how legends of WWE retire.
Yeah, I was just thinking that as soon as he said that. Cena, he definitely did. I think it's also a good thing. I think it's a great idea because wrestlers normally when they retire they just announce their last match and that's it. But if you go on your run, your last run, everybody knows it that this is when it starts and this is when it ends. I like the idea. It's a good concept.
Legend who is interested in doing something similar for his retirement is Rey Mysterio. Mysterio recently spoke with Adrian Hernandez, and Mysterio revealed his wishes for retirement. I would love to make an announcement. I would love for the fans who have grown up watching me and supported my career from day one, because there's still many around, to have the chance to say, hey, this is his last time performing. I want to go see it. I want to give that opportunity to the fans who have been loyal from the beginning. Before I thought I would just retire one day, but when you start thinking about it, it's a hard thing to do. I know that time is a lot closer now than it was yesterday, so I have to mentally prepare myself.
Right.
But WWE booking legends to have a retirement tour makes all the sense in the world, as this would work extremely well for names such as Mysterio, AJ Styles, and even Randy Orton.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think it's a wonderful concept because traditionally in wrestling, you just, have one more match and be gone. It's kind of like how I was probably the most disappointed how someone ended up exiting was Stone Cold and The Rock. I didn't like the way that they just kind of eased on out and really didn't, say anything, announce anything. It just kind of happened. But I understand what Austin's situation was. WrestleMania 19, he had the little thing on his vest that said OMR, one more round, and that was it. Of course, up until WrestleMania, was it 38 when he faced Kevin Owens? But at that time, Austin just kind of, it was it. He was still around, but he just wasn't in the ring anymore. But with The Rock, his last match up until he returned in 2011, I believe, was Backlash 2003 against Goldberg. He did, and there's some footage from that. He actually said goodbye to the crowd. He kind of let them know, hey, this is it, and that was it. Like nobody else knew. And I think he let his contract expire, and then he was gone. All of a sudden, we see him in the rundown, and walking tall, and it was just kind of like, what the hell, bro? He was one of the biggest names ever. He just just kind of transitioned out we really didn't know. So
next up, Marvel gave WWE a cease and desist. Now, also during Rey Mysterio's aforementioned interview with Adrian Hernandez, Mysterio revealed why exactly he had to stop wearing so many Marvel and DC-inspired ring attires, and it turns out this was a direct call from WWE. Actually, WWE had to shut me down for a minute because I was getting too exaggerated. It's my logo, I'm just using their colors and maybe a Captain America star here and the gloves, but I don't change anything. With this outfit, I have a dope idea that I want to put into work, and I'm hoping I'm able to bust it out. Overall, it's always been an inspiration. When I did the first one, I was in AAA. I did a Superman outfit. I used to wear tights and trunks over the tights, and the logo on the trunks had the Superman logo with the question mark and the colors. I just wore a red cape. People got what I was trying to do. I did Batman, Spider-Man, and I carried that with me to WWE until they told me, hey, you've got to stop a little bit because we're getting cease and desist letters. A mysterious comic book themed attires made for some of the most exciting ring gear possible, and it'd be great if they could make a return one day.
Yeah.
Next up.
Yeah, those were some of his definitely his best costumes. I mean, he always has creative ideas with how he switches up the mask and his costumes, but yeah, using different trademark themes and looks and colors and graphics and everything, that stuff. It's very dangerous, man. You want to definitely steer away from that unless you get permission. You know, it's copyrighted material, though. You can't just, be on TV. And maybe he could do that when he was in the Indies before coming back to WWE, but you definitely got to get permission for those type of things.
Have WWE dropped the ball with Gunther? The fans aren't exactly raving with praise for Gunther's world title reign. Something is felt missing from the reign, and it pales in comparison to his legendary reign as IC champion.
Yeah, I agree. It's probably because he ain't been competing as much. His last match was Saturday night's main event. And I would say he was defended it more on Raw before, but I have to think about it. But yeah, it is something off about his championship run. It does pale in comparison to his IC championship run. Maybe because he doesn't defend it as much. Yeah.
But it's not just the fans who are critical, as according to Stevie Richards on his self-titled show, WWE have dropped the ball with the ring general. They have not elevated Gunther. They've not done anything with Gunther. Think about it. He was for a while with that Intercontinental title belt, really over with that. At the beginning of the world title reign, you hoped it would be something where he would be that champion to be on the level of the WWE one. I don't think that he is. Richards does have a point here, and hopefully WWE starts to restore some momentum to Gunther's character as we head into WrestleMania 41. Next up, Liv Morgan injured. Liv Morgan suffered a nasty cut to her.
Man, I seen that, and it looked worse in the backstage segment after she was done with the match, and she was back there with Dominic, and you could just see her face was, it was bruised, it was beat up. I don't know what spot did it. He'll probably say it on here, but man, it was bad.
During a match on Raw last night, and she's now taken to social media to show off her battle wound. Morgan looked like she suffered a nasty gash to the face right over the right eye, but she appears to be okay and likely won't miss any time away from WWE television.
Oh yeah, it ain't that serious. It's just a gash. Things happen in the ring. You don't. I mean, unless you have a spot to show color, then nah, you good.
Next up is Sami Zayn injured. Speaking of injuries, on Raw last night, Michael Cole.
They overhyped the crap out of this. I wrote some notes down for the podcast later in the week, and let me see. I wrote down what they said it was. Okay, yeah, they explained how Sami Zayn is dead. Spinal compression, extreme nerve damage. But you see 20 power these type of power drivers, package power drivers on AEW, and people kick out at 1.5. But then, he has spinal compression and contusions. Talk about an oversell, man. Come on.
Announced that Sami Zayn had been injured at the hands of Kevin Owens. Zayn has reportedly suffered spinal compression and extreme nerve damage. Whilst this is a kayfabe injury, this has been done to write Zayn off WWE television, potentially until WrestleMania 41. Owens is either destined for a match with Zayn or Randy Orton on the grand stage, and it'll be interesting to see what direction WWE go in.
Yeah, if they consider Randy, then they don't need another three-way, because it's looking like it's going to be a three-way between Seth Punk and Roman. I don't know. Maybe Randy does face Cody, or no, Cena. can win the chamber. It's kind of unpredictable, you know. And that's why we had these conversations, because we don't really know what's going to go, what's going to happen. But any scenario makes sense.
The Owens WrestleMania program. And finally, Rikishi defends Jey Uso again. Our final story today takes a look at how Rikishi has once again defended his son Jey Uso. One of the complaints directed towards Jey is that he doesn't have the in-ring skills to be a main event level star in WWE. And Rikishi has since clapped back at these fans on his podcast.
What?
As far as the in-ring skills, the skills are there. If it wasn't there, to me, I don't think the kid would have been as over as he is right now. The skills have been there for 17 years. What we should take a look at, what was the opportunity? The opportunity came. The wrestling universe has spoken. The WWE has heard it and seen it and gave this kid a chance. So at the end of the day, you can rest assured you're not going to be disappointed when the Yeet Man shows up, does what he does, and you're going to watch what happens at Yeet Mania. So get ready, yeet. Jey will officially be wrestling Gunther at WrestleMania 41, and this will be a huge chance for Jey to prove the critics wrong. But they are...
Man, it's going to be always some type of critical and really weird takes on people that's just coming up. But I mean, I understand what people mean as far as his not his I would say it's more of his style than his actual skill level. I mean, he can go with anybody, you know. But I think they mean to the point of like the performance level to where you can make anybody look good and everybody, you know, that you face look good, you know, like the reputation of a Shawn Michaels or something like that. But we don't really know Jey to be a ring general like that. So, I mean, I guess it is different aspects of his game that he could improve on, but that doesn't mean he's bad at it. He's been doing it forever. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching the video. Hope you made it this far. If you have, make sure you like and subscribe. Appreciate you.